Good afternoon. Today we're going to be doing an INOA application. Today we have a natural level 4 with about 45% gray hair. It's about a 10-day to 14-day touch-up. A vital thing with redheads is to get a touch-up done between a 2 to 3 week period of time. So you can see her regrowth. Natural level 4, 45% gray hair. It's pretty consistent throughout the whole head. What we're going to do today is we're going to deepen and richen my lovely guest hair color. So we're going to take INOA. We're using 5.64 with 20 volume developer. 5 is the level of deposit, the 6 is the primary tone, and the 4 is the secondary tone. So we're implementing a level 5 red copper. And with this application, we're going to apply from her regrowth all the way out to this line of demarcation. Do you see the variation from here to here to here? The lovely thing with INOA is I can take this color, take it all the way down through here, and create a nice, balanced, rich redhead. I'm going to let it process for 10 minutes. I'm going to mix a fresh batch and deliver it on her middlings and ends for a total of 35 minutes. After we finish that application, we're going to go and create a dimensional. So I just finished my application with the INOA. And remember, I pulled it down to that line of demarcation. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each section and lay the hair flat. And I start at the bottom. And why we do this is we're just looking for perfect coverage of that gray. So basically, I'm just going to lay this hair flat. I'm going to do this for the whole head. And remember, this is our processing time for 35 minutes. This is going to sit for 10 minutes. I'm going to mix up a fresh batch of 5.64 with 20 volume and apply it to those middlings and ends. So you can see fine sections. I'm not removing the color, I'm laying it flat. When you're doing the laying the hair flat, make sure that your brush has some colorant on it. If you do it with a dry brush, then of course you're going to be removing colorant and you're not going to get coverage of your gray nor your tonal depth. You also want to work with the growth of the hair. If someone has a cowlick, work with that cowlick. So you can see I'm not bringing it past that line of demarcation. See how her hair's popping up? So I'm going to actually go to the other side because this hair will probably lay that direction rather than this direction. Because see this hair here? It's already popping up. So if her hair was very resistant with gray, it's not going to cover. So we're going to go to the other side. Starting with the bottom area. Gravity is our friend at points. Again, just laying it flat. And you can see it's very important making sure not to get color on your client's face, ears. Nice clean application. When you're applying color, make sure that your sections are 1/8 of an inch depth. You want to be able to see through that hair. If you cannot see through that hair, your sections are too large. You're not going to create your coverage for your gray, nor are you going to create your lifting that you're trying to achieve. So you can see here her hair's going back. Don't fight it, work with her hairline. See how I'm pulling her hair back? Laying it flat. Again, pulling it and just laying it flat. Not removing the color. See her hair all the way around her front hairline? It's laying flat. Her gray will be covered 100%. See how this buckles up? So I'm going to take my brush and just lift that right up and pull it to the other side. Follow their natural growth. Okay, let's double check her hairline. How's it look? It looks wonderful. So right now what we're doing is we are refreshing mid, links, and ends. And again, we're using 5.64 with 20 vol. We start from the bottom going up. We start in the back towards the front. You can see, again, my section's nice and thin. If your sections are too thick, you're going to get lack of saturation, lack of vibrancy, and if you're trying to achieve coverage of gray, it's not going to be covered 100%. This also is during that full 35 minutes. So right now we're about 15 minutes into the application. And 2 to 3 minutes before the 35 is up, we're going to do a process called dry emulsification. Follow that along with a wet emulsification, shampoo, dry, and then we will start our dimensional red with highlights, lowlights, vibrancy.
The longer my hair gets, the more I have to, yeah, the more stiffening I have to put in it. Otherwise it's going all over the place. I look like a mad scientist.
Also, once we're finished with this application on her mid, links, and ends, I'm going to go back with the brush and make sure everything is laying flat around that front hairline, making sure that that gray is going to be covered 100%. So again, at the very end, everything will be laying flat.
I'd be happy with that. It's really good. They all look so young.
So now we are at the process of dry emulsification. You can see here, we're starting on the regrowth area. The dry emulsification should be done between 2 to 3 minutes. So first, she's going to go ahead and do the dry emulsification on the regrowth. Then she's going to follow through with mid, links, and ends throughout every hair on her head. The importance with the dry emulsification is to just remove the foundation of that oleo gel. If you don't adjust that oleo gel, the hair is going to be left oily. It's a very quick process, as well as it is during the full 35 minutes, so it's not an additional processing time. It's very quick. You can see how very quick she's getting through this. And then you will see the wet emulsification following through with being cleansed, dried, and then you will see us back with doing our dimensional. So now we've finished the dry emulsification. Remember, 2 to 3 minutes for dry emulsification. Now we're hitting it with water, and we're going to do a wet emulsification. It's literally just moist it with water. And now she's going to rub it until a milky film arises, and then you rinse until the water runs clear. The wet emulsification needs to be done on the whole head as well, and the wet emulsification can be done between 1 to 2 minutes. It's not as intense and precise as the dry emulsification. You see how it's altering that color. It's the wet emulsification almost has a milky film. See how important it is to wear gloves. You also can do INOA in between foils. You still need to do the dry emulsification, and in previous videos, and you can find them on the YouTube under Sherry Ratay, there's a dimensional redhead with INOA as well, and you'll see the rinsing process with that as well. So now we've finished our INOA application with the 5.64. Remember, we did the regrowth 45% gray hair, natural level 4. Looks wonderful. So now what we're doing is we're creating a red on red tone. So back here in the back you can see, basically, I've already started, and I'm just basically looking at the hair, seeing what it needs. Lay it on the hair all the way out. So I sectioned the front from the back, and my 2 shades are, I chose 5.6 in Richesse, which is a level 5 red tone with 9 volume. And then my second shade is 6.45 in high Richesse with a 15 volume. 4.5 is copper red violet. All my lows I am choosing to do slices. I want them to be back to back, random pieces, nothing traditional, nothing, okay, I need to put a red here, copper here, red here, copper there. Look at the hair, see what it's missing, and implement that shade. I also mixed up 12GO in Color Fusion with 20 volume. What I'm going to do with that is when I'm all done with this application back here, I'll show you. I'm going to look at the existing hair, pull some pieces out and just literally butterfly some of these ends so they're slightly brighter. I'm not looking for blonde. All I'm looking for is a nice warm lifting pigment. So right now I'm going to go and start my slices. So look at the hair. Let's implement the cool, the 5.6, right up to the scalp area. Making sure you thoroughly saturate. So again, we're in the back panel. You want to zigzag your partings. You don't want to do anything straight up the back of the center. You want to zigzag them. So my last one was a diagonal. Now this one's going to be a horizontal. This to me looked like it needs more depth, more richness. So this is here where I would not want to use the 6.45. I would want to use the 5.6. So a slice. Foil right up to the scalp. Making sure that you thoroughly saturate all the way through. You can do one of two things. You can fold the foil this way, as I've done previous, or you can literally take another foil and lay it on top. It's your preference with that. I'm choosing to fold the foil in half because I'm going to go back and visually look at the middlings and ends and see where I want to add those soft butterfly pieces. But traditionally, I just lay the foils flat. So what do we want to do here? Let's go and let's do a diagonal. Knowing that we just put that cool tone, and look, this one has more depth than the previous section. So this one, let's implement the brightness of the 6.45. The copper red. Again, thoroughly saturating. And when dealing with a high richesse, the volume developer is a 15 volume. So you're going to create a bit more brightness than you would with a richesse. Here again, I'm still going to keep it in that same avenue of a diagonal. What does it need? I think this one needs to be balanced out. You see the uneven tones from here to here to here. So let's even this one out. And we are going to do the 5.6.
Oh, you're like,
Okay, so now let's look at our canvas that we have here. So you can see we still have her length being foiled. We're not just in her layers yet. So this hair here, that's living here, is her length. I want to create her brightness through the top panel. So still no butterfly pieces. This one's going to be a horizontal. Let's see how it looks. What does it need there? I think this one needs to be brighter. Nice slice. Right up to the scalp. Some people work with a board underneath. I work with my hand. It's truly preference. Still working on the length. You see how you're just using your hand as a palette, looking to see where that longest hair is falling. It's still the length. So we're still going to work on that. This is going to be a slight diagonal. Too thick of a section. The creative thing about doing red on red shades or blonde on blonde shades or even brunettes is you can do a few that are back to back to pronounce it out a bit more. See how it's hollow right here? So let's add some depth. Let's do the 5.6. Thoroughly saturating. Okay, now we're in the area of where it's the layers, the movement. See the canvas? So now let's have fun with it. We're going to do a soft diagonal. I'm going to create more depth in here because I know this is the area to where I'm going to be adding those brighter pieces on the mid-links and ends. So this is the 5.6. So again, just looking at the hair, what do we need to put right there? Think about the calyx too on people's hair. You know it's going to separate. Do you want to put a bright piece right there where it's going to separate and pop out? I wouldn't recommend that. So here we're going to just darken this piece. We're going to do the 5.6 again. You don't want to draw attention to those areas where it's a calica swirl, or even, let's say, if someone had thinning of the hair. Never want to create lightness where anybody's having a visual appearance of thinning. Actually, before I go to there, I'm going to look down here and see what I want to do with some brighter pieces. The thing when you do butterflies, you don't have to pick up, like let's say, okay, I want a butterfly on this hair here. You don't need to pick up that section. You pick up the hair. So if that means it's a collection of hair from certain different areas, it's totally okay. So look at where you want to create some bright pieces. And to me, it's just this hair right here. So you can see what area it's living in. This is where you got to think out of the box. Here's your hair. Could I pick up all of it? I could, but I'm not. I'm just going to literally weave some pieces out. Separate it with my hands. And now I'm just going to grab it with my thumb for stability. And just saturate these ends. Oversaturate. Color will dry out. If it dries out, you're not going to get your lifting. You can see also in this area here, I'm shattering it. There's no solid line. And then just fold it, making sure you don't fold the color into that line. And then crisscross them. So it's kind of like a butterfly. So let's see, what else do we want to see? Play with the hair. To me, I always call it like a piece of fabric. Where does it lay? So let's do over here. I see right here. Again, doing the same. Separating it. It's just those ends, mid-lengths and ends. Oversaturating those ends. See how I'm taking that brush vertically and just working it through. Making sure there's no solid line. And bending the ends, making that. Okay, I think we're going to do one more right in that area. You can see this section's even thicker than the previous two. So actually here, I'm going to take it further up the hair strand. Be creative. What are you wanting to see in the hair? Because you got to remember, she still has the top panel that's going to fall over here. And then we're going to add more butterflies too. The higher you go up the back of the head, make sure you're really shattering the line of where you're putting your color that's going to create the brightness. So first I'm focusing here, saturating, and then I'm just going to jag it up. So I'm just finishing up. I'm just putting one or two more pieces in. I'm going to do some butterflies here. And then what we're going to do on my lovely guest here is we're going to refresh her mid-links with Redken Shades EQ. And let me show you, our formula for Shades EQ is equal parts 6 CB and 7 C. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Can you hold this? So we're going to apply shades from this area to about right here, and we're going to leave the ends out just to help balance out the mid-links and her regrowth. But leave these out. Alright? Once I finish these top few foils, it's going to take about 10 minutes to refresh in between those foils, process her 10 minutes underneath heat, 10 minutes at room temperature, cleanse, dry, and you'll see the end result. Remember, we're going to do just a few more butterflies on her ends on this left side of her head. We're going to leave that out because we'll probably put a butterfly right on top of that. So let's see what we want to do. We want to keep this bottom length nice and full. So we want to leave that alone. Our palette here to work on is much bigger than her right side. So what do we want to do here? See how we just want to pull it, see where it goes, see where it falls. What do we want to add to it? I really don't want to add any brightness to here because this is actually her length and it's coming about middle of her head. So we want to go right above it. So we're going to grab a few of these pieces. And we're going to brighten these up. And remember, to brighten it up, we're using 12GO in Color Fusion with 20 volume developer. It's going to move it about 1.5 to 2 levels. We're not looking for a blonde. All we're looking for is some brightness. Overly saturating those ends and shattering into her previously colored hair. Okay, we have that one in. Let's go to the front. Leave these longer pieces. I'm going to move this out of my way. So this is a good palette to work with right here. Look, we have some longer pieces in there. So let's really be aggressive right here. Separating it. Oversaturating those ends. So we just finished our red on red shade. Beautiful, fantastic. We used multiple lines. We used INOA by L'Oreal. We used Richesse, High Richesse. We used Redken Shades EQ. We used Redken High Lift Blondes, and look how fantastic it looks. We have perfect 100% gray coverage. And remember, she was 45% gray. Nice balance out. We low lighted her with 2 different Richesse products. We also refreshed in between foils with Shades EQ. We did butterflies on those ends just to brighten it up, not to make it blonde, but look how those ends are just slightly brighter than this area here. Very natural, beautiful hair. Nothing looking like you have blonde pieces going through it. And remember, those pieces were created by 12GO with Color Fusion and 20 volume. Very, very pretty, very natural. And look, again, look at that coverage. Beautiful, vibrancy, wonderful. The shine, the reflection that is on there. Look at the canvas here, the variety of shades. The beautiful thing about creating shade on shades is using just going from a cool red to a warm red to create that canvas just to bounce your eyes. So if you have any questions about hair color, please visit me at salonratay.com, Ask the Expert.